Yeah. Your Honor, please, gotta believe what I say. What I will tell happened just the other day. I must confess, cause I've had about enough. I need your help, gotta make this here thing stop.
Baby, I swear I'll tell the truth about all the things we used to do. And if you thought you had me fooled, I'm telling you now, objection overruled. Here we go, oh baby.
One for the money and the free rise, it's two for the lie that you denied. All rise, all rise, three for the calls you've been making. It's four all the times you've been faking. All rise, I'm gonna tell it to you. All rise, I rest my case.
You're on the stand with your back against the wall. Nowhere to run and nobody you can call. Oh no, I just can't wait. Now the case is open wide. You'll try to pray, but the jury will decide.
Baby, I swear I'll tell the truth about all the things we used to do. And if you thought you had me fooled, I'm telling you, objection overruled. Oh baby,
one for the money and the free rise, it's two for the lie that you denied. All rise, all rise, three for the calls you've been making. It's four all the times you've been faking. All rise, I'm gonna tell it to you. All rise, I rest my
So step back, cause you don't know this cat. I know deep down that you don't want me to react. I lay low, leaving all my options open. The decision of the jury has not been spoken. Step in my house, you find that your stuff is gone. But in reality, to whom does the stuff belong? I bring you into court to preach my order, and you know that you overstep the border.
one for the money and the free rise, it's two for the lie that you denied. All right.